Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Lorain Academic Distress Commission, Lorain City School special meeting here Monday, July 24th at 5 p.m. Roll call.
Mr. Coffin.
Present.
Mr. Monteleone.
Present.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Present.
Mr. Richardson.
Here.
Dr. Solis.
Present.
Moving along, at this time, the Academic Distress Commission would like to notify the public that we are going to hire Mr. David Hardy Jr. to serve as CEO of Lorain City Schools. And we're going to bring it to a vote, so can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Vote. Roll call.
Mr. Coffin.
No.
Mr. Monteleone.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Richardson.
Yes.
Dr. Solis.
Yes.
Thank you and congratulations. Now, at this time, we are going to entertain some public comment. We ask that you be mindful of the time, so we'll ask that you all keep it to 2 minutes, and that we use no profanity, and that we respect people as individuals and human beings. Thank you.
Mr. Richardson, before that, could I make a comment, please, as the new member?
Absolutely.
As an educator in this community for a very long time, beginning at the old Lorain High School, through my stint at Whittier, to my nearly 20 years at Southview, and of course my present position at Lorain High School, it is my honor to serve on the commission as I hope to assist with the continual improvement of Lorain City Schools as the district moves forward. With that being said, I feel that it is important, as the new appointee to the ADC, that I make a few statements. I want to voice my displeasure with the overall process that has taken place in getting our community to this point. The ramifications of House Bill 70 have caused a great deal of strife and angst on the Lorain community, and I believe that this process has created even greater and more unnecessary stress of the citizens of Lorain. The goal of the ADC is to choose a CEO and then create a plan for Lorain City Schools moving forward. Unfortunately, the first step in this process has already come under a great deal of scrutiny. As information has come to light, it appears that the search firm has taken or hijacked from the ADC the process of choosing the right candidate for Lorain City Schools. The ADC is the authority in this process and not the search firm Atlantic Research Partners. The candidates who have been selected by the search firm may all be good people and have commendable abilities, but the question is, are they the right fit for the community? Their connection to the search firm are troubling, to say the least, and would some of those candidates who were not named finalists have been a better fit for Lorain if they were connected with the search firm? This isn't to denigrate those individuals, because I understand in many aspects of employment mobility, this often occurs in searches. But in my opinion, the people of Lorain deserve better moving forward than an individual chosen through a process that was not as transparent as it should have been and would be leading our school district. I do not believe it is in the best interest to have a new CEO brought into this situation under a cloud of being compromised because of a tainted process. Due to the lack of transparency on the part of the process as a newly appointed member of the ADC, and when I put this together, I didn't realize that the naming was going to take place prior to, but my comment was I wanted to ask the commission to suspend or table the current search and delay the naming of a new CEO for Lorain City Schools so the applicants may be reevaluated due to the issues of the process being compromised. I know that that no longer is able to be done based upon the recent vote, but I did want to make that aware to the public. And the other question that I did have, but again, it's mute at this point, if the CEO would have not been named by the deadline, what would the state's ramifications be? Was there a penalty? But again, those are all moot points at this particular time. With that said, though, I would also like to let everyone know that I will do my best to serve this commission along with Lorain City Schools to provide the best education for our students. And this is no way me saying that I'm here to sabotage the new CEO or anything like that, but I think it was important for me as a member of this community, this district, and a person that I needed to bring these things to light at this particular time. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. John Monteleone.
Just want to take a little bit of your time, speak to the community. Just have a few words to say this evening, and as I speak, I know many of you will feel that I'm not only being naive, but Pollyanna in my thinking. However, to think
any other way would to believe that people are inherently evil, and I was raised just the opposite. I would like to first thank Dr. Graham for his leadership over the past 2 years. He inherited a struggling district in the midst of new legislation, staff changes, assessments, standards, and assessment tools. However, no matter the circumstances he was handed, he made decisions, in my viewpoint, and using his own words, in the best interest of kids. In my heart, I honestly believe that we are in a better place as a district due to his leadership. I have observed him as a superintendent, and I believe I'm a better educator. I have encountered him as a man, and I believe that I'm a better person. I value Jeff as a leader, and as a man, and as a person. As we sit here today, I know many are upset and confused and not satisfied with the process. Although we have chosen different paths to get here at this moment, one commonality for us all is reestablishing the greatness of our district for our students and our community. No one is more hurt than I that over the past few weeks, the educational system of Lorain has taken a backseat to politics, policy, and legislation. It is disheartening as an educator because I know one fact for certain, that legislation and policy have never educated one child. People educate children. With that being said, our professional learning community needs to stand behind our new CEO and continue the good work of so many. He is not going to be able to do this work on his alone or on his own. He will require the unconditional support and guidance of all of those around him to navigate these uncharted waters. We all must set forth to be the answer and not the hindrance. No one understands more than me that the feelings that have been hurt in this room and that people have been divided, but I assure you, our children are watching us. And while they are watching us, it is our moral obligation for us to become ambassadors of reconciliation. We must clothe ourselves in tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and wisdom. We must lead, but by leading, we must send a message that this is not about adults, but about our children. We must come together because in order for us to succeed, we will need the collective efforts, dedication, intellectual skills, and passion of our strong and prideful community. Our children and our community needs for us to be united, as our students deserve the very best that we can provide them. Thank you.
Mr. Chen Miller.
Thank you, Chair Richardson. Just as counsel for the ADC, just to address, I think, Commission Member Cawthon's concern. As the legal counsel for the Commission, the 60-day deadline that was imposed by statute, there's no authority for the Commission to act beyond that. You had asked what ramifications or consequences there could be. Simply put, as the counsel for the Commission, I can't, in good conscience as an officer of the court, allow or advise that the Commission extend or suspend. I understand that there were some questions about the authority to do that. It's just simply not in House Bill 70 the way it's written. Only the legislation can change the legislation as it stands today. So hopefully that clears up your question. And I don't have any further comments.
Thank you. So at this time, we will welcome comments from the public. And again, can we keep it to 2 minutes so that way as many people as possible can speak. Thank you.
So good evening. My name is Frank Whitfield. I don't know if y'all can hear me in the back, so I'll try to speak up. Is there a mic so that folks can hear me back?
No. That's not a mic. That's my feed for the television.
You all good? All right, so I'll come over here because it looks like y'all weren't preparing for public comment anyway. But I'll try to make my remarks brief. We got it. I'm good. I'm really shocked. I did not think that the first item on the agenda would be such an important action. We are potentially passing off the most powerful position this district has ever seen to a stranger. And though you may be qualified and ready for the work, as someone mentioned earlier, the process has been tainted. And that's the piece where I feel like the commission could have come up with some unique, creative ways, whether it's having someone in the interim as things got figured out, or some other alternative. You know, being a former distress commission member, there was many hard decisions we had to make. But one of the most important decisions we made was hiring Dr. Graham. And it was a decision we made collaboratively with the board, with the community, and it wasn't something done in a vacuum. And my fear with this process has just been, it's been rushed so much that I don't think people are taking into account how critical this position is. I have to echo again, this district has never seen a more powerful position in its history. The ability to override collective bargaining, turn schools into charter schools, this thing could really turn a negative light. But this is what I'll say to the new CEO. As long as you respect this community and come into this community willing to learn first, and that there is no alternative agenda that you have, I think this community will embrace you. They will work with you. We have leadership in place that we believe in and trust right now that has built that trust. And and once again, we don't want this ever to come across like it's against you, because you got thrown a rough hand here. You know, even the commission got thrown a rough hand. You had 2 weeks to make a decision, if that. So you're in a tough position. So we understand that. But I thought for sure public comment would come before your decision. So I'm still trying to understand that whole process. But we got your back as long as you got our kids back. All right. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Hotlock. I was once superintendent of the school district back in the old days. When I read the article about who the state superintendent appointed to this commission, all my fears and worries went away. I congratulate you on what you've done, and I just hope the best for you. I'd like to have the opportunity to speak with you at some time. But I think we ought to take advantage of what has been provided to us.
Thank you.
We need to search and find the most effective instructional programs, and they exist. They're in other parts of the country, and they can be brought into our district. And we ought to hold the state's foot to the ground to make sure we get the resources to do that. So I congratulate you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rosalie. I have sat back and I have listened and I have looked back through the years about education and how it has impacted and not impacted upon our students, our minority students in particular. I have to say, and everyone knows, to me, this whole process is politically motivated. I think it is a set, and perhaps you as academic commission don't realize it, but it's all politically motivated, and it's coming down. And they will know I said to you all years ago, 4 years ago, that this was coming. It's an effort to privatize education, to make it and turn it into a business. I think that you all have been used unknowingly and unwittingly. Once you look at it and how House Bill 70 came about and what's happening nationally, under the present leadership, that we have problems, we will have problems, and if we don't do something and speak out now, our children are our most famous asset. We need them educated so that they may go out in the community and get jobs. And at this point, it hasn't happened. No, I will tell you, I'm saddened by what has transpired, and not against any of you. But the process and the way that it was done is wrong. And I will continue to say that until I see. But we better take a very, very good look at what's happening in our system.
Thank you.
I don't need a mic.
Sure, I'll get you that one.
I'm not a favorite. I'm not a favorite, but that's okay. Cause see, I got God on my side.
Amen.
Young man,
Yes, ma'am.
you made remarks that nobody else at that table made. Okay? He went for a walk in the hood. He went to Burger King. He talked to our kids. And when I looked at the whole panel, I said, that's it, right there. Why we call him a stranger? Our superintendent's a stranger. He don't live in Lorain. That young man say he's willing to move to Lorain, bring his kids here, and they're gonna go to Lorain City School. That's what I look at. All our money is going out of the city, then you wonder why Lorain is broke. And we ain't got to train him. He know what brown is. He's brown. And I'm being attacked, but you know what? I got some big sons, so y'all don't want to take them on. All right? I got a lot of friends sitting here, so you don't want to take them on. Welcome to the city. Tony, they better leave you alone, because you're my child. That's it. Peace.
My name is Cheryl Dragouts, and I'm wearing a shirt that says I Heart Education, and it's old, and I just like to thank Dr. Graham for some of the decisions that you made when you came in and taking the time to listen. And sir, what I like best about Dr. Graham is that when he came here, he met good people, and he recognized that we work hard, that we care about our students, that we care about this community. And I feel that he recognizes that just because I don't live in the city of Lorain, because my husband is a teacher in another district, and we chose to live in a school district where he doesn't teach either, so our children will go to a school district separately. Just because I don't live here, and because I have a family of my own, and I go to their sporting events, because to me, family needs to come before my job. I learned that over 18 years here. But he didn't come here and try to make changes immediately. And I don't feel that the changes that you made with any intent to change them again anytime soon. And I appreciate that, because over 18 years, year after year, school after school, principal after principal, assistants come and go, superintendents, commission, I can't even say, trends, fads, whatever you want to call them, they come and go. And what has remained constant is your staff, and we choose to stay here. And I hope that you will consider making decisions for the longevity, because someone must have said change is good. That's a quote that seems pretty typical. I don't think change is good. Change is hard. Change creates emotion. Change creates tension, difficulties, failure, and we don't need any more of that here. I work all summer long to make my skin as brown as I can. I can't change that. I can't change where I was raised, but I can be proud that my father left a community and he came here to work in Lorain, and he wanted me to see what diversity looks like. And I can't change who I have selected as my friends, and I won't go looking in search of new friends for any reason other than the fact that we share common interests and common love, which is all based around children. And I can call them my own children. I have 2 sons, but you will hear I'm confident, every person who works in this district, we all call them our kids. So I hope that you will consider what choices you make for the long run in the best interest of all of our children and of our kids.
Thanks, Ms. Drago.
Paul Beaver, 37-year teacher in the district, former board member, current adjunct professor out at LCC. And I'll give kind of an academic support of Ms. Lee's comments. What we have here is an example of what is called in political science corporatism. It is the joining of the forces of the power of the state with the power of corporate business. This is all about dollars and cents. It's about taking public money that is voted and putting it into the hands of private enterprise without a vote of the public and the people who pay for it. The system, if you want to call it that we evaluate our district as a failing district, and every time I hear that, I just about scream and want to go through the roof. It is not a failing district. It is a district that is small. It doesn't even incorporate the boundaries of the city of Lorain, and it is in the district that you have the poorest part of the city. Our academic, quote, scorecard is a function of poverty and not what goes on in this district in any way, shape, or form. How crazy this evaluation system is, which should be diagnostic and not evaluative. It should be, hey, this is a district with problems. We need to put money into early childhood education. When 85% of the kids fail the kindergarten exam that enter the district, when 90% pass it in Avon and elsewhere, their job is much easier than the job of this district. And if the boundaries of the school district matched the boundaries of the city of Lorain, we wouldn't even be here and we wouldn't be in academic distress. That's how crazy the evaluation system is. There's not much we can do here. Mr. Hardy, I hope you're not in on the fix. I hope you are an honest guy, but you've been set up, and the corporate people are back there licking their chops to come in and start taking public money and putting it in their pocket. Good luck.
Hello, my name is Ramon Alex, and I've lived here my entire life. I'm 43. I served in the Army, so I was gone a few years, but my wife is a teacher here in the district, Mrs. Heather Alex. And I've heard, quite a bit of just what we've all had a taste of, but I want to just add some positive light in all this.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear? No? So adding positive light and expounding on what I've heard so far, because I'm very, passionate about what's going on. I know a little bit of just a smidgen, but I just want to put a positive note on it. So years ago, I went to a meeting. It was called Project Grad. I found out that we were in a really bad situation as far as our district goes. So from that time until now, I'm like, okay, if nobody in this room or whomever may not know it, that's where we were at. And here we are today. It's in our face. People are like, this is not good, and this and that, and negativity. I'm here to say that however we can make it work, we must make it work. This community deserves it. The people who have brought their children up here, the people that have just lived and breathed and have eaten and been in love with the city, this is not in vain. This will go forward, but we have to keep a positive vibe. So I say congratulations to you, Mr. Hardy, right? And I hope that was a positive thing. So I'm looking forward, going forward into the future, that all things are going to be on an up and up and not the corporate bull and all that other stuff. So.
Is it okay if I speak from here? I'll use my teacher voice. My name is Joe Vasconi, lifelong resident of Lorain, Ohio. My 3 children went through schools here quite a while ago, all very happy. My wife and I are very pleased with it. There's an old Irish saying that goes, better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Now, Dr. Graham, I don't mean to be personal, but you are the devil that we know. And the school board, The school board seems to be very pleased with you, and I've just recently been involved with Lorain City Schools, coming to meetings, just a quiet observer here. But I've been very impressed by the board, and especially by Dr. Graham. He was gracious enough to meet with me in his office several weeks ago. We had a discussion about education in general, and Mr. Hardy, I plan to make an appointment with you in the near future to share my ideas about education with you. So again, better the devil that we know than we do not know. Though I really am disappointed that Dr. Graham wasn't even, considered to be a finalist. I think that the reason that was given is because he is here already. Well, that is one of the lamest excuses I've ever heard. He should have been given at least an opportunity to be a finalist. Now, bouncing off the remarks, very astute remarks that were made recently, this whole testing regime here in Ohio throughout is at best a scam.
That's right.
Those testing companies are not educational institutions, they are business. Business. And as my godfather used to say, that's business. They have two main objectives, the testing companies. First, to make money off the people that they can, sucker in, and also to make a dumb nation even dumber. That testing does not improve education, it intimidates it and just works against it. So again, I wish that Dr. Graham would be, allowed to stay on, but Mr. or Dr. Hardy? Mr. Okay, that's fine. I'm Mr. too. So I want to meet with you in the near future, and I'll be of any help that I can be. Okay. Thank you for listening.
My name is Alexis Pain. I am an educator in Lorain for 20 years. I have served as a teacher, I have served as an administrator, and I am currently serving again as a teacher and as well as a high school athletic coach. I want to echo many sentiments that we've read in the paper, whether it's from our police chief, whether it's from community members. The transparency that was supposed to be evident in this process was not there. And it's my hope, as a lifelong resident of Lorain as well, that there will be transparency down to the people that affect children every single day. We're the ones on the front lines. We don't get that transparency because that's a fear of mine as a teacher of 20 years. We came to this meeting with the impression that this part was going to be had before a vote was going to be had. So, as a citizen of Lorain, to the commission, you failed us. Because there was no input today. I care about the kids that I teach, and yes, they are my kids as well. I don't have children, but these kids are my kids. I see kids that I started with 20 years ago that are now 27, 28 years old. They remember the things that we do in the classroom because we all care. But it's just my hope that there is transparency and that we all are part of this process, including retired educators who have been so successful in this district, to say, let's meet the kids where they're at instead of trying to hit a target that moves every other week. Dr. Graham, I thank you for your service, and I wish you the best of luck.
My name is Linda Lee, and I, first of all, would like to congratulate you, Mr. Hardy, also Mr. Richardson, for all your hard work that you have done for this commission, and for all that you have had to suffer through with members of this community. Now, everyone is, things that have been said in the newspaper, well, they should have done this meeting first or whatever, just what the young lady said. However, you know what? I've been in school board meetings, especially when David Hall was supposed to be a candidate, that, you know, Mr. Graham, and we voiced our opinion, and guess what? They made the decision. It didn't matter what we said. So thank you for doing this, because you did it the right way. You really did. And then in terms of people, well, we should keep the people we have. We shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. Well, mighty funny, when I went to that meeting, David Hall, who was a person of the system, they chose to go somewhere else. No offense, I don't know you, Dr. Graham, but they went with Dr. Graham, even though the community said we wanted David Hall. So I think you did everything the right way. Thank you.
My name is Marvin K. Jones. I'm a director for elementary education. Been here about 1.5 years and feel like Lorain is becoming my home. I welcome you, Mr. Hardy, and I cannot thank you enough, Dr. Graham. I look forward to the partnership of the two of you.
Hi there. I'll use my indoor voice, or outdoor voice, I should say. First off, I do want to say thank you to Dr. Graham, because, you know, I got to talk to you once, twice, but, I mean, I could tell that Dr. Graham cared about the kids in our district, and that's what we need. I welcome you, Mr. Hardy, and that's what I want to know. You know, your passion for our kids. What is the agenda now to get us out of academic distress? And that question is not just for you. That's for all of the members of the Academic Distress Commission. What are we going to do to get us out of this situation that we have been in? Are we setting up community tutoring? Are we going to be helping our kids as a community? Because we all, everybody in this room, you need to get involved. Yes. Not just tonight, yes, but you need to show up for tutoring. You need to make an investment in these kids. I will tell you, I work with the Lorain High Band, help them raise money to go to New York. There are amazing kids in this district. Okay, I took our drum majors to drum major camp at Wright State University. Those two kids worked so hard last week to learn as much as they could, to become better, you know, to make the band better this year. They want to be good student leaders. We have kids in this district that have the potential to be the best in the world. But what are we all going to do to help us get out of academic distress? And yes, it is about these test scores. And I don't want to see this district broken up and be made into charter school buildings, because our taxpayer money paid for these buildings. So these buildings do not need to go to a for-profit corporation. That does not need to happen. So we all need to get involved, and we need to hear from all of you what the agenda is for tutoring, getting people involved in helping come up to the schools and read with a child or help them with math, all that sort of thing. That's where we need to go, and there needs to be absolute transparency from this entire group right here, that that's what's going to happen. And we need to see press releases and announcements on the school website of what's coming up and how can we get involved and be on a committee to set up tutoring for these kids. These kids are first and foremost, and every decision made by this committee and by you, Mr. Hardy, should be in the best interest of these children and doing right by these children. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Really quickly, can you state your name again?
Bobby Sargent. Bobby Sargent.
Anyone else would like to step to the podium and speak? You want to come up? Thank you.
My name is Chiquita Cannon-Jones. I want to thank the Now I'm out of air. My name is Chiquita Cannon-Jones, and I am an employee here, but I'm a parent first. And I haven't had any sleep since I came to the meeting last Tuesday. I've been reading all the comments in the paper, who says this, who says that. I love working with Dr. Graham. Everything I asked for, I got. So that was great on my part. But I was hurt that Ms. Hall was taken off the commission because she was actually an excellent student, and she helped my son graduate from this district having LD issues. So that's the biggest thing. And I'm kind of out of it because even though I work for the district, I work somewhere else full time. So my day today has been getting off work at 7:30, being here at 8:30 to mentor 40 girls with our high school band. And I haven't had any sleep, but I do it because I'm passionate. And all these people talk trash about who says this, who does that. At the end of the day, we all bleed blue and silver. If anybody goes onto my Facebook page, it says Titan. We are all Titans. And we should move forward, welcome this committee to do the best job they can do for our kids and get them out of here so they could be great educators or someone else down the line.
Thank you.
Yeah, come grab her. Come grab her. Go right there. Well, it's going to take me a minute because I got to digest it and just see where and discipline myself and say what I need to say. I don't know what Mr. Hardy?
Yes, ma'am.
Hardy thinking. Taking, coming into a system with, well, seeing this, because I still don't understand. How we get to this? I mean, well, anyway, it's all about the children. And that's what I stand for. Our children, our future generation. Now, the children are starting back to school next month. And I want to see them happy, ready to start back to school, be encouraged, ready to learn, reach for the stars, to get a good education, and to think about our children, the Titan, we just all so happy, when the accomplishment they made and put Lorain on the map, what they was doing at Lorain High School, because I graduated from Lorain High School. I'm not going to tell you what year, but anyway, that made me happy, just to see this, because I have great-great-grandchildren. I'm thinking about and I worked in the school, Admiral King, in 1970. That's when I started working, right? Not at this building, the other building, 1970. And we went through superintendent. So now we have Superintendent Dr. Graham, and He's been here for a couple of years. I met with the community, have plans, getting people involved, and not enough involvement. That we fail in our children. We are failing our children. The parents are failing our children. But not the teacher. We are, the parents. Send those children to school, make sure that they are fed every morning, that they are ready to come to school, not being late, not being tardy, from kindergarten through 12th grade. Be there for them, and work with the teacher, partnership with her. Education starts at home first. So we have a work to do. I don't know how much longer that I have, but God knows that He has the schedule for that. But whatever I can do, I say, and I always to be encouraged to the children that you can make it, you can do it, you can, don't never say no. Oh yes you can, come on, yes you can. Well, I don't want to. Well, you know, when I see the children in school with their pants down, well, okay, I'm gonna make it. Young man, you know, I know you left home very early. You was in a rush and you forgot your belt. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I said, do you have a belt that you can, something that you, in your locker that you can, he said, yeah, I think so, and the other one just laughed, you know. But anyway, to be encouraged that he would say, okay, I'm gonna pull my pants up. You know, I'm not gonna do like that. And young ladies, that all I can say, I can talk all day.
So, hey, so one thing. This is my grandmother. No, honestly, like my real grandma. This is so grandma. I never tell her what to do, but we had 2 minutes. So, no. If you want to keep going, grandma, you can keep going. But I wanted everybody to know that this is my real grandma, and I'm not cheating or giving her more time.
Well, I know he's not gonna give me no more time, so that's been day one. So when he was running for office for counseling at large, Grandma, you was stressing me out. Yeah, but you got to work to get there. You got to be there. Well, anyway, I won't go in there. That's another subject. But what I'm saying, we all got to work together, and we all in this room. An example for the children, for our family, for our community, working together for our children. And we love them. And because that's all they need. They need loving, encouragement, and move forward.
Thank you.
So, whoever, and Dr. Graham, I hope you stick around in Lorain. Because I don't know what the plans are, so like I said, I don't understand it, but yet and still, don't leave us. Because we can work together with, I forgot his name already.
Mr. Hardy.
CEO, and move this district forward. Because we don't want to go to no charter schools, and we don't need the state to be coming over and taking us and telling us what to do. When we have educators here that we just the same education. So what qualifies someone to be? Well, I don't know. I better shut up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Grandma Hardy. Thank you. Oh, Grandma Richardson. Grandma Pie. Thank you, Grandma Pie. I'm Mrs. Alisea. I've been teaching in this district for 4.5 years. I taught special ed, and this year I'll be teaching 2nd grade at Washington. I wanted to say that this was coming. We knew a few years ago that this was evident. It was going to come no matter what we do or say. It was going to happen. I just hope that you look at the Lorain and you see that we do need public education here. for all the wonderful things that the public education do. My 3 sons, well, one graduated last year from Lorain High, one graduated this year from Lorain High, and without, if they went to any other school, my middle son who's graduating, he got a full ride to Ohio State and he's going this fall. And 17 students from Lorain, if this wasn't a public school, wouldn't have gotten that full ride, that same kind of scholarship that my son got. So I just want to say that we really do need the public schools. I think pulling in charter schools isn't the answer, and there's different standards, and it's so much politics on everything that's happened between the changing of tests every year, between, okay, 3 years ago we had good test scores. Well, 3 years ago, all those teachers that were tested that got accomplished haven't been tested for the last 2 years. So those scores aren't put in through everything that's out there. So now this year, they're going to be tested again. And so the scores are going to go up for the students in the district. So things like that, this is all new. So nobody has the answers. But what we do need to do is work for our kids. I call my kids, my students, my kids, and my children. That's how I differentiate my kids and my children. But I just want to say that there are a lot of teachers, and there are a lot of teachers here that work for the district, and I live here and I work here, and we do things, my husband and my whole family get involved. I've done the literacy nights at my buildings. We've done things outside of the community. I went to community residents and asked them to volunteer to come in and read to the kids. So I just wanted to say I hope that you would consider looking into the district before letting any charter schools come in, the other businesses start profiteering on our buildings. And that's it.
I'm Megan. I work at General Johnny Wilson Middle School.
Hey Megan, can you see your last name?
Burns. And I want to welcome you to the international city of Ohio. With that being said, take a look around at all of our beautiful international faces. We are diversity at its best. And we are inclusive. And that is one of the best things about where you are going to be employed. We have so many cultures that we represent, so many nationalities that we represent. And I always try and tell people that it's hard to break through our wall. It's very, very difficult to break through our wall. We're very, very defensive of our own. This is the city of Lorain. We had one school that was called the Steelmen. And we had one school that was named the Admirals. And we had one school that was named the Spartans. And then we had one school that they thought they were the Saints. I don't know how saintly they were. But now we're the Titans. Remember us Titans. You gotta penetrate that wall. And you walk down 23rd, and some little kids, our kids, mistook you for Barack Obama. Okay? Barack Obama. That's a tall order. And when they said to you, "Are you the president?" It could be because some of us don't put the current president's portrait up in our classrooms. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's not get partisan in here, okay? But we have our walls up. The town as a whole has walls up. When this guy came in, he had to break through those walls. He really did. We were all about Dr. Hall. It did not go down that way. And this guy had to break through. We are about ours. Not yours, not John's, not Steve's, not mine. Ours. Our people. I'm just saying, these are our kids. Yeah, I stay on my side of town. I'm a West Sider. I stay on my side because I know the kids who go down my street. I see them in the summertime, so I know, and I'm watching out for them. And I can say, get off of Mrs. James, you know, nice grass. Get off of your, and if they want to help me, they can help me. Do whatever, and then I can help them out. But they are ours. We've already made it down 23rd and then called the president, so sounds like it's easier to get in with the kids. Don't be dissuaded so much by the adults, but you gotta fight, right? You gotta fight to get past that wall. It's hard to get past our wall. I'm still not happy about the process. I'm still extremely disappointed about that. That hasn't changed. We were bamboozled. That wasn't right. But of the 5, I'm proud of the outcome. And that look you give Grandma when she's talking,
Okay, later.
cut that out.
I don't like doing this anymore, but I'll make one quick comment. When we were here before, and I saw who the candidates were, and we discussed it, well, I should start with my name. I'm sorry. I'm Keith Lilly. I'm a former school board member. I went through this process. I've been here my lifelong, 60-some years. My kids went through the school and all that stuff. I've seen this before. I've listened to all the comments that were out there, and you know what? I was kind of happy. I agree with most of what everybody said here. Now, back to when I came to the meeting the other night and I saw the candidates, I was part of a board that went through a process to elect candidates nationally and bring them in there. And when I sat there and saw who the candidates were, I said to myself, I'm kind of impressed. These are some highly skilled, passionate people. I'm not mad at the Distress Commission for the process or the people that came here. In fact, I thought of all the candidates, 2 of them that I picked, Mr. Hardy was one of them. I'm excited about that. I think that's great. But if you listen to the comments, that's not what the fear is. The fear is, you know what, and don't take this the wrong way. I have a lot of respect for you. I heard your education, I heard your skill level. I thought, wow, this is a great guy, but I've been through a lot of great superintendents. This was a great superintendent. I was on the board and Mr. Hotlock was there. He was a great superintendent. And I've seen some of the greatest. So now we have to say, what makes you any different? And what are you going to do different? And that's what these fears are. We don't know how you're going to make Lorain better than it has been. We've struggled for 15 or 20 years. Nobody likes change, but sometimes change is necessary. Maybe this is a result of change is necessary, but only time will tell what makes you better than any of the prior superintendents. The only thing we know for sure is without these people in this community, you can't do it alone. So listen to what they're saying, heed their advice, get their involvement, and good luck to you, Mr. Hardy. I'm kind of proud to see you here.
Thank you, Mr. Lilly.
My name is Sherman Jones. I'm here representing the memory of my mother-in-law. She served as a crossing guard in the district for over 15 years. under the great leadership of Mr. Montague here, Jamie Montague. She almost left, and then in working with him, she stayed. People may not think so, but your crossing guards and your other support staff are important to your kids. They see them every day. She was the kind of lady, she had gloves and hats and scarves and shoes in her trunk. And as they came along, if they needed something, she was there to give it to them. If you went down Broadway there, you might have seen her down there. She was there in the cold, in the rain, in the snow. We fussed at her to try to get her to stop. She wouldn't stop. She wanted to keep going because she loved those kids. I'm here because during her last 5 years, she saw a decline, and it hurt her. She said, those folks aren't listening. It's not about our kids anymore. It's about adults. What I've heard over the last 6 months is a once proud system get itself down to the point that they didn't know what to do. We were going through the motions. With all due respect to everybody who was here, who was involved, we were going through the motions because we didn't know what to do. We were trying stuff. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, hoping that something would take shape. Out of that came fear. With that fear came, well, what can we control? Let's work with adults. So we left the kids and the families behind, and we started working more and more and trying to figure out how to do more and more with adults. Anytime, all of the efforts, the majority of the efforts, the majority of the conversations, I've come to several of these meetings here, a couple of school board meetings, adults, adults. That's all you heard, adults. Adults this, teachers that. Teachers are very important. They're part of the front line with the kids. Adults, adults, scores, test scores. This isn't right. State did this. Adults. When do we start talking about the kids and their families? So I say to you, joy, 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 unspeakable joy. Joy in the morning, joy in the afternoon, joy in the evening. Pain may endureth the night, but joy comes in the morning. We've been through pain. It's been nighttime. It's time for daytime. What this is opportunity. It's not a reflection on what was, but it's time for night to be over and day to begin. If our kids don't deserve our best efforts, then we need to tell them that. We need to get up in the morning, look our kids in the face and say, you don't deserve our best efforts. We're going to keep on talking about adults. Who gets paid what? Who gets promoted to what? Who gets to decide what? You got a battle between two entities. At the state level, they're saying this needs to be done. At the local level, they say this should be done. They're both right. If I was in charge at the local level, I'd fight that. I wouldn't want to give up local control. If I was at the state level, I would want to take things over. We all would do that. But all of that is about adults. Let's get this conversation about kids.
Amen.
This gentleman here, I believe, can do that. And we need to get behind him. After all this is over, everybody has their say and you point the fingers and talk this and that and the other. Let's put on your work boots and your gloves and your hard hat and go to work. And let's be about kids and families and time out for being about adults. Thank you.
My name is Yvonne Johnson, and I am a product of the Lorain City School, and I'm proud of that, and I'm still proud of that. I was here when Dr. Coulter was a superintendent, so I go way back. When I was in Admiral King, our curriculum was so joyous and so profound that when we were in 12th grade, we could go to any state college and we had the freshman year of the curriculum already by being in 12th grade and just taking advanced classes. We didn't take them at Lorain Community College. We took them at Admiral King High School. And we were very proud of that. I think that we still have joy coming in, and I will not forsake that. I think that we can return to that process because I'm not going to give up. And I think anybody can take a dip and then come forward. And I think that's what we're going to do now. I'm here because I don't really care who the superintendent is as long as he gets the job done. And as long as we stay student oriented, because that's what we were before. And we were very proud of that. And it was a wonderful thing to see the basketball team and the football team and the way we had to learn vocabulary in English and write bibliographies and write our just small books. And we were outstanding students. If you could look back and you would see some of the proud doctors, teachers, administrators, community college leaders, superintendents, that was my community, and they came out of Admiral King High School, which is now the same. You just changed the name. We have those students. We are the parents of those students that are coming back now. So I think we still have joy coming.
Anyone else would like to make a comment?
I have a question.
Yes.
What are you, since he's the CEO, what are you going to do for Lorain City Schools to, whatever this mess is about, forget about that. What are you going to do as a person to lead our schools back? I'm from Lorain. My daddy and everybody else worked in the school system. So I want to know, what are you going to do? Don't worry about the rest of the mess.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you say your name again?
No.
Okay, that's okay. Well, in the next 90 days, we will embark upon, well, actually, it's very soon here, because with the 90 days, we have to submit an academic improvement plan. And at that time, we will roll that out to the entire community in the state of Ohio. Mr. Hardy has been in town. Actually, we agreed on the contract. We talked all weekend and went back and forth, and I took him to, we met for breakfast and had a good time and agreed on the contract. So we'll right now, I don't know if he's prepared to answer that question. And I tell you, we will put it in writing and share it with the entire community. And in fact, in the next week, starting to over the next 30 days, we will have community stakeholder meetings. We will invite the community to give input on what that plan should be. So it won't be Mr. Hardy's plan, it'll be a Lorain plan. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sal Rivera, I'm police chief in the city. Wow. You know what? I've heard all the positive talk. Sherman and I are good friends. But I just want to share with you what made me so deflated when I came to that meeting. I think it's important that you know the truth. Okay? I've never got involved in school issues ever before, other than collaborating with the schools with so many programs, Do the Right Thing, the After School Program, Safety Town, and the partnership we've enjoyed with the school resource officers and a lot of other programs. But what really irritated me at that meeting was what I saw was just a process that was so void and showed no interest in what the citizens of this community felt. You know, what I saw was no microphone for any input, just little cards of questions that were never asked. At least 5 people that I know never had their questions asked. Today you made a decision right at the beginning, before we ever had a chance to talk. You know, our Board of Education played no role in selecting anybody. Our Academic Commission didn't play any role. It was done by a private company for profit. I don't think that's the best way to pick a CEO or superintendent. This city has been beat up for a long time, to the point where our collective psyche has been damaged a lot, and that's why we get so defensive. And I guess what I saw as an outsider is this constant change here. Every 2 years, 3 years, a new superintendent. I sat here, and Mr. Hardy would know, I mean, I really admire you and your answers. They were great. But truthfully, we've been through that process 5, 6, 7 times. I heard the same type of answers, the same jargon, you know. And, you know, then we brought somebody from Minnesota. Then we brought somebody from Colorado. Then we brought somebody from Georgia. We're always looking to the outside to answer. And I can tell you this school system has put out some phenomenal graduates and continue to put out phenomenal graduates. You're avoiding what the problem is. The problem is we only have half of the city that actually belongs to the school district. Financially, is horrible. You have a state Supreme Court decision that says the funding of these schools is unconstitutional. They've avoided that for 9, 10 years. They won't fix it. We have problems with kids that have a lot of issues that can't be resolved inside these buildings. You know, some go hungry. Right. Some go home to abusive situations. Some go home to crack houses. Yep. A lot of them go home to single moms that don't help with homework, don't help with computers. Issues that you're not going to be able to resolve in the next year and a half. You know, right. I guess what I'm afraid of, and I do admire you, but here's what I think. I think you're so articulate, so polished, that in 2 years, 3 years, you're going to leave us too. And we're going to be looking for another superintendent. And it's a merry-go-round. And that's why, we like to say it's all about adults. I mean, that's what we're saying tonight. Truthfully, it's about our kids. They're constant change. And we had magnet schools, we had small schools, and wherever the grants, because we didn't have any money, we followed the grants. But there's been constant change. And it gets tiresome, and it drains you. And it wears down our kids. And I guess the only thing I would ask the Academic Commission, before we got to this point, the board members, superintendent, were going around through the city saying, this is a positive thing, this is going to work out. And I saw for the first time in a lot of years a resurgence of pride, Titan pride. We had a big sign in front of the police department that said, go Titans. I saw that spirit coming back that we had years ago. And it was a great thing to see. We had new schools, our teams were doing great. Yeah, we were in this position, but hey, we were all going forward together. And everybody looked at the Academic Commission like it was a partner. And that was dashed the past week. It was really dashed. And it's going to be tough to build up and build again. And so I guess I'm just asking, welcome to the city, and we wish you the very best. And to the commission, I hope that you guys, especially the local people and the ones that are educators at university level, I hope you look in the mirror and have the courage and the integrity to do what's right, because so far you haven't done it.
Mr. Richardson, can I make a brief comment, please? Is mine on? Mr. Hardy, I just want to congratulate you on being named as the CEO of the Lorain City Schools. And my name was brought out here a couple times, and although I appreciate the kind words, the last thing I want to be is a rallying cry behind more disruption and more confusion. As many people have mentioned tonight, as a community and as a school district, we've gone through a lot. And I just want to assure you that the staff and the leadership team will work with you to do what's best and what's right for our children and the families we serve. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. Any other questions out there? Mr. Councilman Kazura?
Mr. Smith, how are you? Pretty good, Cheryl. How are you? My name is Joe Kazura. I'm presently a councilman at large. Sir, you're going to have to get the my name is Joe Kazura. I'm presently... Okay, I'm presently a councilman at large. I was former mayor, city auditor. I served 20 years in the Ohio legislature. And I am convinced over time, I voted against charter schools. I voted against vouchers. And I really believe that this is a plan. If you look all over the country, you will see it's called American Legislative Exchange Commission. And they have voter registration ID, all the programs are nationwide. You see this consistently all over. This is nothing new. And I believe it's a plan to dismantle the public school system as we know it. I really believe that. I believe that it's a move to make public schools private, corporation run, and I really believe that from the bottom of my heart. Now, I really hope, because I served with you, Tony, and I think you're a fine young man. I really do. And your grandmother has told me to keep an eye on you. Martha has. And I don't know you, Mr. Hardy, but I hope that you will do whatever you really plan to say you do, and the board. But I really believe we should watch this and watch this closely. And that's why you have to get involved in politics and elections and register and vote. And you gotta change Columbus. Because you, in order to take over the entire legislature, it's like 67 Republicans and 32 Democrats. And they, all over, I went to one of those online schools over in Elyria, and they said how great the ones that are now fighting, you know, to get funding, they have $10 million that they have to pay back. I went to that school, and all people did was, a bunch of people were playing games on computer, and two frazzled old guys were trying to keep them from running up the building. Honest, yeah, I mean, I saw that, I visually saw it. And this man, the white hat, has 29 of these schools all over the state, makes billions and millions of dollars. This school system is in disarray all over the state of Ohio. And we need to do something about it. And the only way you change it, folks, is to get involved with the schools. I try to stay away, because, you know, the school system, public, is a little different. You can't do it all. But I know we can make a difference, and we make a difference every day by working together and doing the best we can, and we got to continue to do that. And Dr. Graham, my congratulations to you for your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments or insights from the community? Mr. Barrios.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hi, my name is Antonio Barrios, resident here. I used to be very much involved with the school board years back, but then chose a different path. What I would like to bring out is that if you've been listening to all these fantastic educators and people, they've all been saying some of the problem, apart from the redistricting our city to include a huge portion of minorities, it's also what the state and what the testing has been doing. Now, you're about to come in here and disrupt our whole system, and maybe for the good. But anyway, it's a disruption no matter what. And hopefully, God bless you, that it will be to the best for our students. But I want to ask you, what are you going to do to change the testing system that helped create this problem? Because everything is thrown on the teachers here or on the parents, and so like we're guilty because we failed. But what about this whole system has been created with the testing? What are you going to do about that? Will you bring that up in your analysis? Will you include that somehow? So it's not like, you know, the parents or the teachers here have failed, but also the conditions of how many poor people are in here being taken care of. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about all more than just regular schools that don't have that problem. Think of the weight that these people are carrying, right? And then with this testing system that seems absurd. I mean, it's absurd in its money making, but maybe that's not so absurd, right? I don't know. Anyway, what I want to say is, what are you going to do, and I don't expect you to answer this now, it's just for you to think about, what are you going to do about that system? Are you going to fix our system here so that we fall in and conform to that system, and so we're just another wheel in the cog? Or are we really going to look at the problem totally and say, this commission's also going to say something about that system that's been put in place to actually create havoc with our school system? And that's my question to you. Dr. Graham, thank you so much for your service. I appreciate you, and good luck, young man.
We'll take we'll go as long as you all want to. I know there were some concerns about last time and access and questions, so we will continue to go. Anyone else who have questions, definitely come up. I know this woman here. Can you state your name?
Yes, I'm Merle Johnson. I'm state school board member.
District 11, which covers 2/3 of Cuyahoga County and 1/3 of Lake County. So you're not in my district, but I care, okay? I'm here to represent all 1.3 million children in Ohio, and that's why I came to see you. I want to commend this gentleman. You said you're a councilman, you used to be a legislator. What's your name? Joe Kazura. Mr. Kazura, I want to commend you for what you said, especially about Alec. I say it all the time, and the only way that we can win this fight is to make sure that we are educated. We are fighting for our public school system. I taught in Cleveland for 40 years. I was just elected last November, retired 5 years ago. The reason I ran is because I am an advocate for public education. I am very, very concerned about the national movement to privatize our public schools. And if you don't pay attention, as the gentleman said, you'll turn around and our public schools will no longer be of any quality whatsoever. And so I want to respect what's happening here. I can't say necessarily approve, but I will respect it. The way that House Bill 70 went through the legislature was not right, but I don't live in Lorain, so I can't say you know, what the issues are, but I will be doing some discussions with some of you. But I just came up to say that I will be watching very closely how this works, and as a community, you need to watch very closely. It is about the children, and we have to do what's best for our children, but we also have to make sure that we are protecting the most important institution in this country, and that is public education. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to do this, so this is my mowing clothes. My name is Gina Tilton. I did my student teaching here. This is my third career. I was an accountant, a mother, and now I got my degree as a teacher 3 years ago. And I chose to come to Lorain. And what I hear from, especially the people that have come up here and said that they're a product of Lorain schools isn't different than it used to be, but what's different is we keep taking these state tests, publishing these scores. Our kids here, we're failing. If you tell a kid they're failing enough, they're failures. They can't get past that. So we can't teach them what they love to learn and how they love to learn, because as adults, which we don't want to talk about the adults, but as adults, that's what we're judged on, that's what the community is judged on, that's what the school district is judged on. So until that testing changes or is gone, our kids are never going to have a chance. They're just not going to have a chance. They're not going to be able to learn. They might be able to learn to pass the test, but they're not going to learn.
Are there any other comments?
Okay. I hope you can all hear me. And I'll use my cafeteria voice. I certainly am a product of the Lorain City Schools, and also have given the Lorain City Schools 38 3/4 years of service. And I love the Lorain City Schools. I'm sorry, Elba Armstrong. I love the Lorain City Schools. My heart is with the Lorain City Schools. And I know that it has been very difficult for our staff, everybody who works for the Lorain City Schools, to see our schools being rated in the failing areas. And for us to have to see our children see that as well. You know, because our children do have to have that support of everyone in order to do well in school. And that includes everybody, the entire staff, just as Mr. Jones said. Everybody needs to be supportive of our mission here in the Lorain City Schools. And it should be our children first. And it should be that we will do everything in our power to take care of our kids and to make sure that they succeed, because they are very capable of doing that. And we have wonderful teachers who go out there and give it their all. So we have to be able to support them as well. And we've had superintendents who have come to our district with also that belief that they are going to help our kids and help our schools to become successful. We have issues with the state. We will always have issues with the state because of the testing process and how our districts are evaluated and how they are compared, you know, to other districts who don't have the poverty that we have here. And I recall, as an administrator, in years past, one of our superintendents saying to me, Elba, one day, the Lorain City Schools will be the schools of the poor. And you know, that is coming to be because a lot of our children and families have left the district. Our district boundaries, we don't have all of our city school children into the Lorain schools. Those children who live in Lorain City go to Amherst schools, go to Vermilion schools. So you see, we don't even have all the children that we should have here in Lorain, because our district is not. It should be Lorain City, Lorain schools. You know, you live in Lorain, those children should come to Lorain schools, where you then have an integrated population of students, where students see other students succeeding and learn from other students as well. We've had our problems here. I know that the distress committee has had to do things based on the state, based on our scores. We're not saying that the people who have worked with us have not been supportive and have not done everything in their power to make us successful. But we know we have some problems and we have to deal with it. So we're here at this point. And so we have to take advantage of everything that we can get from the state. And of course, be very vigilant with the state. Because the state will do things and pass things without our knowledge. And tomorrow, we will have another problem that we will have to deal with. That's why you have to be informed. And our people, Mr. Hardy, welcome.
Thank you.
We have to be, you have to help us. You have to help this community keep informed of what's going on at the state. Not just in the schools, but out in the community. I know that Dr. Graham was out there, and it took time, but he did become a part of the community. This is what you're going to need to do. And you're going to need to be out there getting to know everybody and doing what's best. So I wish you luck, but I also say, let's stop changing things all the time. Look at the districts who are successful. Do they change their reading program every 2 years? No, they don't. They keep to what has been successful. They don't go chasing the soft monies. So we have to do something about that. We have to look at how can the state help us without having to say, you need to implement this program in order to get these funds. So good luck. I wish everybody the best of luck, and I know that our community will be there to help everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong. If you are looking for a co-CEO job, let us know. I think that was powerful. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Ballard. Mr. Hardy, I am part of the present school board, and I can't speak for the entire school board, but for me, I say welcome to our system. And I want you to know that the fights that we've had and disagreements we've had has been in a process, not with you. I think you're a fine young man. Look forward to working with you. It's the process that we challenge, but now that you're here, let's go and fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Are there any other questions? Okay, so we're going to move along here. We're going to have some words from Mr. Hardy.
First and foremost, I just want to thank this commission for your words, for your commitment to this work, and to making this day possible. I think this is the first step forward for all of us, and it's great that the commission has taken us here with our chair leading the way. Dr. Graham, thank you. I look forward to working with you and look forward to seeing you and the senior team take us into the beginning of this school year. And all of the folks that are out here, I thank you for coming tonight. It takes a village to raise a child. I can tell right away that there is a village that cares about the 6,750 kids that go to our schools. Every step of the way, every single day, I will be looking for you to help guide us to where we can take this village to a whole nother level. For me, I had 8 aunts. My mom is one of 8 sisters, 9 sisters, if you count my god sister, who were there every single day to make sure I did the right thing. Back then it was easy because you just opened up the door and one aunt was down the road and your other aunt was across the street, and you had your neighbor making sure you're doing the right thing, pulling your pants up when you're told to, right? The times have changed. It is harder to raise our kids. It's harder to make sure that they are successful. But every comment that I heard from the 24 folks that spoke tonight spoke to the fact that you have deep pride and care for each one of your kids in the city. I thank you all for your comments, and I can't wait to meet all of you individually, collectively over the next few weeks as we embark on this endeavor together, and understand that I will listen first. I will make sure that is the priority. I do not come with an agenda. I actually have no contact with the state at this point. I've been hired here by these wonderful commissioners to do a job, and that is the same job I hear you asking me to do. So I'm excited to meet with you all, and I'm excited to be a part of this village. Thank you.
So at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Vote. Roll call.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Mr. Monteleone?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien? Yes. Mr. Richardson?
Yes.
Dr. Solis?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, and thanks to everyone for coming out. We appreciate it.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.